Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for this time, I want to make this video for fulfill second English course assignment. And beforehand, I want to introduce myself again. My name is Annisa Maharani Putri Rukmana. I'm a student college at ITB Ahmad Dahlan class 2A English course, and now I'm 7th term. So for this time, I want to discuss about the mental illness. Talking about mental illness that is happening in Indonesia, there are still many of us who don't know what mental illness is. What is mental illness? Mental illness is a collection of psychiatric disorders that affect a person's thoughts, feelings, and behavior. This is personality disorder make it difficult for sufferers to know which behavior is considered normal and which is not. Mental illness also affects teenagers a lot. Most mental health disorders appear in adolescence or perhaps in their early 20s. Researchers from Harvard Medical School found that half of the cases of mental disorders start at very young age, 14 years, and 3/4 occur since the age of 24 years. Because of its very early appearance, therapy and treatment must be carried out from the beginning as well. Executive Director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness (NAME), Mary Giliberti, stated there are 1 in 5 teenagers suffering from mental disorders as described from NAME.org, but only less than half decide to seek help. Thought mental illness is a mental disorder that is quite dangerous and can lead to suicide. The cause of mental illness arises from many factors. It can be due to stress, depression, due to experience deep pressure on the mental, or the traumatic loss of something and someone. Inner pressure due to environment or parents, lack of attention or affection, and much more. This is also one of the reasons why many teenagers are stressed or depressed, so we decide to consume illegal drugs and often drink alcohol or liquor. One often feels sad and helpless. Often feels sad and has no hope, such as isolating yourself for more than 2 weeks. Be careful if you are actually mentally disturbed. 2. The emergence of a desire to end life. If you have the desire or intention to commit suicide, you may experience mental disorders. 3. Can control myself. Likes to be angry and shout hysterically just because of small things and often take risky actions. 4. Often afraid of something for no reason. Often there is an unreasonable for a fan. 3. Can control yourself. Like to be angry and shout hysterically just because of small things and often take risky actions. 4. Often afraid of something for no reason. Often there is an unreasonable for even feeling short of breath that can happen because of your unstable mentality. 5. Change in diet drastically. Stop eating and like to vomit food. 6. Mood swing. A mood that can change at any time, can be very happy, sad, irritable, and angry, unclear. 7. Often think about things excessively. Small things can make you think about it continuously. And 8. Like to hurt yourself. Hurting yourself, like banging your head against a wall, is also one of the symptoms of mental illness. Here, I will discuss one of the influencers in Indonesia, namely Karinovilda or Aukarin, who once told about the mental disorder she experienced on her YouTube channel. According to her, Indonesians do not know very well about mental illness. because in Indonesia there are still many who are ashamed to talk about or admit to mental illness. That's why Indonesian people still know little about mental illness. Karin thought while in high school she had experience in and out of hospital for attempt of suicide many times due to depression. At first, Karin didn't know how to tell anyone because she was afraid that if she told her she would be thought to be insane and it would get worse. It was getting worse by the day because I didn't know what to do. I'm afraid I will lose something, maybe someone. It doesn't have to be a boyfriend, maybe a friend, including my family or whoever it is. Anyway, the point is I'm afraid of losing something, a situation, a moment, and the bottom line is I'm afraid of losing what I already have. I'm also afraid being replaced. I am also afraid of not being the best for someone, she said. As discussed above, one of the symptoms of mental illness is having an excessive fear. Although surely every human was afraid of losing something, mental illness was too much. Karin went through a period of depression for 2 years and went through it alone because she was still embarrassed to tell her parents and friends. Her consciousness began to emerge after she tried to walk in a better direction, such as watching motivational speeches and reading motivational quotes that could make her rise, until finally she was no longer depressed and surrounded by people who care about her. Since grade 2 to 3 of high school, Karin has not experienced depression for many years, including several years ago when Karin was booming with blasphemy by haters on Instagram for making carelessness with a video of her crying about breaking up with love. At the time, she felt that she did not care about her surroundings and what other people said about her. It was time for Karin to decide to join one of the management, and she signed a contract in which Karin was given a brand image as a bad girl, which required her to appear inconsistent with her identity. She could not refuse, let alone resign, because he had already signed a contract. In the contract, there are sanctions or provisions that she will get if she violates it. Karin's depression returned after she was accused that she was the cause of someone's death. Without knowing the truth, everyone pointed out that I caused this person's death, she said, supported by the news circulating. Even though Karin's friends and Karin themselves know the truth, the public still considers Karin to be the cause. Even her management, which she considered as her own family, left Karin because they were also appointed as the cause of someone's death. Yet they know everything and they are real witnesses. In essence, Karin said that she was abandoned by all. She got bullied by someone with the words behind the scene, "You don't deserve to live, murderer who should die." In July 2017, finally, the mental illness that Karin had been struggling with for a long time finally happened again, and she became depressed until she tried to commit suicide. But the depression didn't last long because she was surrounded by people who loved her, and Karin had already begun to understand the mental illness that had happened to her. She only had depression for 2 months. I had a friend who was really care with me, that is until accompany me every day, said Karin, by mentioning the name of his friend at the time. According to her, the insult from the Indonesian people that she received were not important because she had friends. One of the positive things that Karen got from her mental illness is the words that brought her down. Her life experience can make her the person she is today and make her rise. Karen was successful is running her business for 1 year. Even the management she built was successful until finally people start giving her a lot of positive comments. But after Karen felt that she already had everything she needed in this world, love, attention, and money, she realized that social media was not an eternal happiness because it was one of the factors that made her think of looking for something more that she could go get and come back brings her depression. For example, many think about things like why are likes on Instagram only like that and what should she do to get more likes. But Karen realized that was not the right thing. Karen is one of the people with mental illness who has managed to survive and is not ashamed to admit to those closest to her, even the wider community, about her mental illness. There are still many people around us who cover it up and decide not to consult. On November 8th, 2018, I interviewed one of my friends who has mental illness. The first time he became aware of his mental illness was when his friend saw him beating himself up. Due to sadness and depression, he thought about ending his life and trying things that didn't scare him at all. Not only beating himself, he also often began his head against the wall, also slammed things around him. I don't even feel that odd. All I'm aware, but what the heck, it's a bit lost. Suddenly, rich is not me, he said. The cause of his mental illness relapse could be anything. It could be because someone had said something wrong to him, or it could come suddenly when he was feeling alone in his room or some other place that started to make him cry. So he went to do strange, dangerous things. Things that can be experienced when mental illness occurs are quite severe and very dangerous. Yeah, I hurt myself. I throw things like my cell phone, laptop. It's crazy. I do anything. I'm really not afraid at all. Even if you die or whatever, I'm not afraid. Can another train pass and I will cross? I'm so stupid. It's crazy. Really. My research person decided to only tell his friends because he knew that if he kept it to himself, he would find it harder. But none of his family knows because he feels not close to them. Even though his sister occasionally heard voice when he hurt himself, he decided to cover it up by lying. Once that time, I opened the door and asked, "Kakak hit, what time?" And I replied, "No, this item fell." Or, "Not, I just said I had an accident." It's true and they believe it. Surely, they often hear what the sound is like. Bang, 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 she said. So far, he doesn't want to do a consultation, even though his friends have suggested him to go to a psychologist or psychiatry and other healthy institution. The reason was because he didn't know how to tell it. He was afraid that it would even give rise to thoughts if later he was declared mentally. My rich people can get this. That make me even more stressed and really don't want to live this time. And that's very often. I would rather just shut up, pretend I don't know, he said. The only way to calm him down when his mental illness flared up was to be quiet, try to catch this breath and calm himself down, even though he couldn't and it was getting worse. Another thing is to do things that might make him forget, such as sleeping, watching a movie, or calling close friends. I worry the most about my friends. Like, I worry about my friends too. I want to do weird things because if no one stops me, if no one loves me and cares for me, I might have crossed the line. Trying to kill myself is not good for me. If no one stops me, I won't stop. Save my search. The conclusion was that someone who possessed mental illness was harmless to others and those around him. He can only harm himself. We as a society must also be sensitive and care about this mental illness. Not a few teenagers who experience mental illness. More love and attention from friends and family is one of the reinforcement of his life when he is feeling depressed. The role of parents is very important for people with mental illness. Parents must be sensitive to the habits and behavior of their children. Know the child is more than anyone else or his friend and try to reach your child so that he can be comfortable talking and venting everything he feels to his parents. Do not let children experience this period of depression alone, afraid to talk or even embrace. Establish closeness to the child like a friend or best friend. Be a parent who is not harsh but firm and can make your children comfortable to be around us. Do not let the child feel inattentive and increasingly isolated. Lucky for people with mental illness who may not be close to their hurt parents but have many loyal and caring friends to accompany them. If not, can you imagine what would happen to him? Well, after watching my video, there is no longer any reason for you to know what mental illness. Be a human being who is sensitive to the environment. Appreciate and care about the environment around us. There is nothing wrong with knowing more and doing good to others. At least if you can do good, at least don't hurt. For those of who experience mental illness, your days are not so heavy without you realizing it. The surrounding environment, such as family, friends are people who really care and love you. Throw away your fear and shame to tell, especially to parents. No parent will be angry or even disapproved of knowing that their beloved child is experiencing depression or mental illness. Precisely with your story to your parents, this is an opportunity for you to be able to live your days more calmly. Consultation is also not something to be avoided or even feared. You will not be considered mentally or ostracized at all. With a consultation, you can find out many good things for yourself, such as how to get rid of excessive fear of something, how you calm yourself when you are depressed, and avoid bad things from happening when your mental illness relapses. Come on there to share and find out the positive things that you can get after your consultation. Also throw away the shame to admit it to other people, especially parents. And this end, I want to say thank you for watching my video. Thank you for learning about mental health and see you